Third, Annie, would you be so kind as to do roll call?
Absolutely. Online, it looks like we have Anissa Albertson, Cheryl Hartman, Christina Dewar, one who does. Lana McCartley, MCAT, and Shane Stack. In 206, we have Commissioners Strohmeyer, Bureau, Slotnick, Vinnie Pavlish, Chris Lounsbury, Emmy Bristow, Carrie Powers, Allison France, and myself, Annie Cathy.
Excellent. Well, shall we get down to business?
Let's do that.
Okay, let's do it. Is there any public comment on items not on today's agenda? Seeing none, we will move into our consent agenda. Anything you guys would like to discuss, or should we just dispense with this by way of a motion?
Dispense.
Okay.
I second.
Any
Suspension.
further discussion or public comment on the consent agenda? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Action items, we have 3 today. Lana, would you like to introduce this one for us?
Sure. So this land easement agreement, it's amendment for the cell tower at the fairgrounds. Y'all approved the amendment last month, but after signing, sent it back to American Tower, who is our kind of liaison with Verizon Wireless, and they had their legal team review and wanted to make one small change, which is in our favor. So the change is just that the previous agreement said that they did not have to notify us if they decide to sublease. And the change is that now they do have to notify us if they would like to sublease.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, just one other question. So $25,000 signing bonus, is this the sort of thing we've gotten in the past?
We have gotten a signing bonus in the past when
Yeah.
we've renewed the lease, yes.
They got a first round draft pick. So.
Okay, thanks.
I move to approve the revision to the First Amendment.
Second that.
Any further discussion or public comment? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thanks,
Thank
Lana.
you.
Shane, a PSA with DGNA.
Yeah, good morning, commissioners. So as you're aware, we're applying for a RAISE grant to replace Boy Scout Bridge, Glacier Creek, Sunset Hill, Riverview, and Cold Creek. And we also have $1 million set aside as well out of Senate Bill 536 to offer as a kind of a match for that application. That application is due end of February 28th. There's another program, the investment program, BIP, and it requires a 10% match for off-system bridges. And so what we would plan on doing is also applying for grant funding to replace Boy Scout, Glacier, and Sunset Hill. We would also be able to $1 million that we applied for as a match for RAISE to use as a match for BIP. So this would be a kind of a backup as we apply for RAISE. If we don't get that, we'll also have applied for the BIP program, and hopefully we get that. It would be 3 bridges instead of 5, and we would still, again, be able to use that $1 million in the Senate Bill 536 funding. So it's kind of a backup plan, if you will. So really, this is just a professional services agreement with DGNA to continue to help us draft grant application for the BIP program.
Great.
Great.
Oh, so when will we find out about the RAISE program?
You know, I would hope that we find out by July or August 1, but potentially as soon as June. And BIP, the application for BIP is due March 19th. So you're probably going to hear about BIP too, right on the heels of finding out about RAISE. So we'll probably know this summer what that looks like.
One, Dave and Shane and I were chatting yesterday, not including Dave because he's not going to be in DC with us. Thinking about you and I and Shane going to.
So he will be DC prior.
Right, but you and Shane and I going to visit the bridges,
Oh,
take a day or chunk of a day and visit the bridges because we're going to be talking to our delegation about them. I know some of them, like, you probably don't need to go visit Sunset, but
yeah,
go visit the other ones. And then when we talk about them, we'll have a little,
Glacier Creek is the only one that I don't.
other than Sunset. I mean, I know I've been over Boy Scout Bridge, but I haven't stood there and looked at it with this in mind. So
Yeah,
it might
I-
inform our discussions with our delegation.
Shane, are you able to do that with us? Take us on a trip? Thank you.
A winter bridge tour.
A field trip?
Winter bridge tour. If it's
Yeah.
possible, maybe scheduling is very difficult, but
Yes,
maybe to be on
schedule is pretty tight between now and when you guys get it, but
Yeah,
I'll check in with Christina.
okay, perfect. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks, Shane.
What do you think? Should we do this?
Oh,
Yeah.
yes, sorry. Is it you?
yeah, I would move that we request
Approve amendment number 1 with HDR. Is that the right one?
We're back on 2.
All right,
Okay.
I'm gonna move, we do number 2.
Second.
any further discussion or comment on number 2?
Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, on to number 3, Shane, amendment number 1 with HDR.
Yeah, so back on this same story, when we hired HDR to do the preliminary engineering report, we didn't include the subsurface investigation to try to keep our costs as low as possible. And as we get these PERs in from the consultants, one of the challenges is just looking at the risk. And one of our bigger risks with Boy Scout, as far as just the unknowns and the potential for a large cost increase during construction, is driving the piles and how deep those piles have to go before they reach a point of refusal that we know the foundations will be supported. And so if we spend a little bit of money, it's 15,000. If we do an amendment with HDR, they'll do the geotechnical analysis. So we've got a driller for this week to go out, drill down, figure out what those soils look like, and then get us an analysis back on how deep those piles really have to go. And then we'll have a little bit better knowledge on what our cost is going to be for the piling. So right now we're looking at it's a potential additional $750,000 over and above what we think the price is today. So we can spend 15,000, get a better idea of what that number is going to be. In fact, the nice thing is we may not have to go deeper than 50 feet. Maybe we see a savings on our engineering. So anyway, hopefully that all makes sense. This is just kind of clears up a little bit data that it will help us get a better estimate on the overall project.
Thanks.
Great.
I move to approve amendment number 1 with HDR.
I'll second that.
Further discussion or comment? All in favor?
Aye.
All right, thanks, Shane.
Thank you.
We have no correspondence. We have no discussion items. We have no events. We have nothing to sign. Is there anything else anyone would like to?
I don't even have my computer started.
Thoughts on the Missoula Parking Commission? Okay, thanks, everyone. We'll be done.
Thank you.